Are you looking to take your landscaping business to the next level? Welcome to the SiteRecon YouTube channel, where we talk to industry experts on sales, client relations, operations, and bring that content to you every single week. Enjoy.
What's your recommendation? What should guys look for on site? And I think from what we discussed, we felt like there's two ways you were breaking it down. Physical attributes of the site, the physical attributes of the site, and the needs of the client.
Yeah. Well, the first thing, is again, you're always looking for, as you're establishing pricing or desire to have this job, where's it at? Does it fit into your route structure on that? Because remember, we're always selling from route density to maximize our profitability. The more times our crews spend in the trucks driving around with windshield time, the less productive they are. So also know your properties, know the type of clients that you work with the best. Make sure this property fits your prototypical successful customer on that. Then again, meet with the customer, find out what they're looking for. Do a formal needs assessment. If you sell to client needs instead of landscape needs, you might have a much higher success rate of closing business. So establishing that scope through them, looking at the property, understanding those things, but it's that qualification process at the beginning. Is this the right job for us? Is it in the right location? Does it fit our route structure? Those are key drivers in that. And then what's the client looking for so that we can tailor make our solution to their needs and make ourselves that much more intrinsically valuable. So now you've captured the job, but here's some of the things you need to know to service the job. And some of this is going to come out in the interview questions during the needs assessment. But, different companies, different parts of our clients have different issues with logistics. There's employee ingress and egress, the flow. If it's a retail site, they have customers coming in and out of the stores or the sites. They're generally having materials delivered, so there are trucking areas and things of that nature. So on commercial properties, there's a lot of nuances that we have to understand to service it properly, because the last thing we want to do is be in our customer's way while we're servicing the property. Some of it's really simple. Don't service restaurants at lunch. Don't service hotels at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning while people are trying to sleep. There's some rules of the road there, but also understanding, because you're asking the client, what's the traffic pattern on their site? When is it busy? When are they busy? And when would we be in their way? When would they most like us to be on the site doing the work so we're not disruptive? You're creating a value added situation for yourself, because you're taking the time to tell your client that you care about the stuff that they do and are making sure that your services don't complicate their success path. So other things that we do is, when you're starting to price and evaluate properties, all properties have an A, B, C, and D level of need. A zone is the monument sign, the curb appeal areas that are watching. That doesn't change whether it's residential or commercial. If it's a commercial property, there are entrances where customers are coming in and out, or employees are coming in and out. Those typically are the A areas of the property that we want to maintain at a fairly high level. Then you've got the B, which is secondary areas. C is like the side of the building. And then D is, the field in the back of the building on those kind of things. So when you're pricing jobs and you're establishing frequencies, you need to know how to maximize impact. At the same time, you're trying to minimize the cost to the client so that you can come up with a price that is profitable for you and attractive to them. So if we're taking the backfield, the D section, and we're doing a 5-application lawn care program and doing finished mowing every week, are we benefiting the customer, or are we just generating, using their dollar bills on that? So we can look at properties from a variety of different levels of service and levels of care on that. And then again, just knowing what's going on, what kind of business are they in, when is there a lot of traffic from their customers or their employees or their deliveries of materials and products, and when is that not happening, because that's the perfect window to service their property on that. And that makes you a partner with them while you're servicing the property.
Fred, can you share that story where you had to get your client's car repaired?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't know where he parked it.
One of the things I learned was when you're establishing the high priority locations on the site, is I learned many years ago that it's important to learn where the boss parks their vehicle and where they walk into the building, because that's an A area that you want to make sure has a high level of quality. And now I learned this the hard way. I had a manufacturing facility in my home area in Ohio called the Great All Company. You've probably seen their material handling equipment and telescoping boom excavators around the country. Those are made in one location in the world in Dover, Ohio. And I got that property, and it had a very nice landscape on the front areas. There were some other areas. There's a big production yard that we just did vegetation control in the back. So it was a very nice contract. And it was one of my biggest and earliest commercial jobs. And one day I got a call from the facility manager who had been ordered to fire me. Now, so the thing I learned was that the president of the corporation his hobby was restoring classic cars. And this was probably in about 1985. And he had just restored a 1969 Lincoln Continental with one of those, what's called a Lando roof. So it's like a fabric roof. And his parking space was right next to a large pin oak tree. And pin oak trees have kind of a declining lower limb structure as they evolve, and you have to keep them limbed up. Well, we didn't have that one limbed up enough, and he drove his brand new restored Lincoln Continental, into his parking place, and one of the lower branches put a big scratch right down the middle of his Lando roof that he had just finished on that. And he got out of his car, took one look, got angry, went inside, said, "Fire the dude." So they're doing this now. We groveled and we apologized, and we replaced his roof on his car and saved the account. But I learned something that I had not thought of before, and that parking space and that entry, which was on the side of the building in what I normally called B or C, all of a sudden became an A. So in my questions, when I talk about establishing client needs in my needs assessment, I now always ask, where's your boss park? Where's the prime manager for this facility park, and what door does he walk in? Because you can protect yourself from some unintended consequences by knowing that's a high priority area.
If you like what you see here, don't forget to click on the bell icon and subscribe to the channel. We post videos every single week.